Part 1 Before the circus started. What's up, you two? I never thought I'd be here typing this out, but apparently, my marriage has turned into a mix of Jerry Springer and a fever dream. I'm 33 meters, been married to Vanessa 29F for 4 years. When we met, she was this fiery, no filter type who could insult you and somehow make it sound like a compliment. She worked as a bartender, and every guy in the place wanted her attention. I was the lucky idiot who got it. Things were fun at first, loud laughs, too much tequila, passionate nights, all that. But a few months ago, stuff started getting weird. She became obsessed with networking for her side hustle, which, as far as I could tell, involved sitting in cafes posting pictures of herself holding coffee. Suddenly, she was always busy with clients, except her clients seemed to always be shirtless dudes on Instagram, with abs so sharp they could slice bread. When I'd ask about it, she'd laugh and say, "Relax, babe, you're the only guy who knows how to handle me," which sounded nice until I realized she meant it like I was the only guy who puts up with her crap. The first real moment was when she came home at 2 a.m., saying she was at a business dinner and reeked of cologne so strong it made my eyes water. I asked, "Who wears that much cologne to dinner?" And she shot back, "People who have standards, unlike you." I should have seen the writing on the wall then, but no. I was still in the maybe she's just quirky phase. Little did I know, the quirky was about to turn into full-blown insanity. Part to the totally absurd first clue. So one night, Vanessa says she's working late at a hotel lobby because it's quiet and good for creative focus. Yeah, because nothing screams productivity like $14 cocktails and a piano player. Around midnight, I get bored and decide to order pizza. The delivery guy shows up looking confused and says, "You already ordered earlier tonight." I tell him, no, I didn't." He shows me the receipt. The order: 2 pizzas, champagne, and, I kid you not, chocolate-covered strawberries delivered to the exact hotel Vanessa said she was working at. Naturally, I call her. She answers with this fake, overly casual voice like she's hosting a podcast. "Oh hey, babe, can't talk. Brainstorming with a client right now." I ask her why she's ordering romantic snacks at midnight for a client. She sighs dramatically and says, "It's not romantic. It's for networking. People bond over food." Okay, but since when do people network over strawberries you have to feed each other? The kicker, she says, "You're being paranoid. It'll bring you leftovers." Spoiler, she didn't. That's when the little voice in my head went from maybe she's being sketchy to bro, you're the free trial husband and her real fun is on premium mode. Part 3 The accidental FaceTime from hell coming up. A few nights later, I'm chilling on the couch, scrolling through my phone, when I see Vanessa's name pop up on FaceTime. Weird, because she's usually the queen of ignore calls. I answer, half expecting a quick "I'm busy," but nope. Instead, I catch her mid-conversation with some dude who's clearly not me. She's sitting on that ridiculous hotel bed again, smirking like she just won a game show. The guy's laughing and holding what looks like a tiny bottle of whiskey. I freeze. She looks at the screen, eyes wide, not because she's caught, but because she's realizing I'm actually watching. Without missing a beat, Vanessa flips the script. "Oh, babe, you're home early." I didn't hear the door. She's so smooth, I half expect her to pull out a deck of cards and do a magic trick. In dumbfounded, I say, "Who's this?" And she goes full diva. "That's Marco, my business consultant. He helps with my branding." Branding? Sure. Branding her jealous husband's face off the property. I ask if I can talk to Marco. She hands me the phone. And what does the guy say? "Hey, man, Vanessa's been talking about you nonstop in a totally professional way." I swear, if this were a movie, this would be the part where the audience throws popcorn at the screen. Part for the honest confession that was anything but. So, next day, I confront Vanessa about the FaceTime disaster. I'm expecting denial, tears, maybe even a tiny shred of remorse. What I get instead is a masterclass in gaslighting. She throws on this fake hurt face and says, "You're so dramatic. It's just Marco. Okay, you act like I'm some kind of cheater." Then she adds with a smirk, "If you actually trusted me, you wouldn't be spying on my calls." I ask point blank, "So, you're not seeing anyone else?" Her response, "Of course not. You're imagining things because you're insecure and boring." Then she drops the kicker. "Honestly, if I wanted to cheat, why would I tell you about Marco?" I'm practically too honest. Yeah, because every cheater announces their side piece like a parade. She also blames me for not being exciting enough and says, maybe you should try doing something wild for once instead of being the sad guy on the couch. I'm standing there like, wild? You mean like you? Running around town in heels at 2 a.m., sipping whiskey with mystery dudes? Her reply, jealousy doesn't suit you. And frankly, you could learn a thing or two from me. At this point, I'm half laughing, half wanting to cry, and 100% down with her bullshit. Part 5: The absurd phone hack that blew it all open. Alright, so after the whole Facetime circus and her honest confessions, I'm officially convinced Vanessa's playing for D chess and I'm stuck on the bench. But I'm not about to lose without one last desperate move. I remember a buddy once telling me about this shady app that helps check cheating spouses by sneaking a peek at messages without unlocking the phone. Sounds like cybercrime. But hey, desperate times, right? So, I download it, pray to the tech gods, and boom, it actually works. I get access to her texts, and what do I find? A barrage of messages from some dude named Big Tony calling her Queen V and sending heart emojis like he's auditioning for a rom-com. There are plans for secret meetups, late-night business dinners, and even a meme exchange involving cucumbers. Don't ask. I'm sitting there, half horrified, half laughing because, honestly, the whole situation is too ridiculous. Queen V. Like she's some kind of mafia boss in a bad soap opera. Then I spot a message where Vanessa texts Big Tony, tell Jake he can watch tonight. The king needs to see how the queen plays. Hold up, watch. Cue my brain melting. Turns out, the cuckold fantasy Shed joked about on some reality show wasn't a joke at all. This was real, and I was the sad side character who didn't even get the script. Part 6: The confrontation gets even wilder. So armed with my new Queen V receipts, I decide it's time for the showdown. I wait until Vanessa's out for yoga. Translation, out to who knows where with Big Tony. And I confront her as soon as she steps through the door. She's got that look, like I just asked her if she wants to donate her entire shoe collection. I slam the phone on the table. Care to explain this? She snorts, rolls her eyes so hard and worried they'll get stuck, and says, oh, that, you're overreacting, babe. It's just a game you're supposed to watch. It's like performance art. I blink. Performance art? Since when is humiliating your husband in front of some guy art? She shrugs like she's explaining the weather. Look, if you can't handle it, maybe you're the one with the problem. I've told you a million times, you're boring. Big Tony keeps things exciting. I'm standing there like I just got punched in the gut by a glitter cannon. Then, out of nowhere, she smirks and says, besides, you should be grateful. Not every husband gets to be part of a live show. Live show? I don't even know what to say anymore. Part 7: Emotional whiplash and absurd revelations. After that glorious conversation, if you can call it that, I basically felt like I'd been hit by a truck that was also on fire. 1 minute, I'm furious, the next, I'm just exhausted. But then, as if the universe wasn't done trolling me, Vanessa drops another bomb. She starts talking about boundaries and lifestyle choices, like we're part of some weird cult. Then she casually mentions how she's thinking about inviting a few more people to the show. I'm standing there, mouth open, trying to process if I heard her right or if I accidentally walked into an episode of Black Mirror. And get this, she starts lecturing me on jealousy, saying, it's toxic and so last century. Real relationships are about sharing. Maybe you should read a book instead of binge-watching sad movies. At that moment, I realized I was officially living in an alternate reality where my wife was basically a villain in a soap opera I never auditioned for. I didn't know whether to laugh, cry, or scream into the void. Spoiler, I did all three at once. Part 8: The decision, stay, go, or join the madness. After the emotional roller coaster, I was at a crossroads. Stay in this bizarre circus with Vanessa as the ringleader, or walk away and reclaim some shred of dignity. Or well, the absurd part. Maybe just embrace the madness. I tried talking to friends. Their advice, dude, dump her. This is next level insanity. And my favorite, is this real life or a prank? Honestly, part of me was tempted to pack a bag and leave. But then there was that weird little voice telling me, what if this chaos is just the normal now? I even thought about playing along. Learn the rules of this twisted game. Maybe even get a backstage pass to the so-called show. But deep down, I knew I'd never be okay with being some prop in her soap opera. So, I made a choice. I told Vanessa I needed space. Like, serious space. I wasn't ready to watch her life turn into an episode of The Real Housewives of Absurdville without me losing my mind. She acted all shocked, like I was the bad guy for wanting a break from her drama. Classic. Part 9: The space that changed everything or not. So I told Vanessa I needed space, hoping a little breathing room would cool things off. Spoiler alert, it didn't. Instead of giving me that, "Oh, sorry, let's fix this" vibe, she went full-on diva mode. She started posting cryptic stories on Instagram about finding freedom and breaking chains, which apparently meant nothing good in husband language. Meanwhile, I tried focusing on my self-gym, work, binge-watching shows that didn't involve betrayal or dramatic confessions. But every time my phone buzzed, my heart skipped because it was usually some new message from Vanessa, either guilt-tripping me or bragging about her adventures. One night, out of nowhere, she sends me a picture of a key. No caption, just the key. Turns out, it was the key to some apartment she rented for creative inspiration. Creative inspiration? Yeah, right. More like Big Tony's secret lair. That was the moment I realized the space wasn't about fixing us. It was about her carving out a whole new world without me. Part 10: The Unexpected Twist. The roommate who knew too much. So, while I'm still processing Vanessa's key to the secret apartment stunt, I get a random text from a number I don't recognize. It's from some guy named Liam, claiming he's Vanessa's roommate. At first, I thought it was a prank or a wrong number, but Liam insists he's got the tea and wants to help me out because, and I quote, "No one deserves to be a cuckold without warning." Curious and honestly desperate, I agree to meet him at a cafe. Liam's this chill dude with way too much insight into Vanessa's creative inspiration escapades. Apparently, the apartment is less art studio and more secret party HQ for Vanessa and her posse of clients, all while I'm stuck playing husband/live audience. He even slips me a Snapchat video where Vanessa is throwing a wild house party, flirting with some guy right in front of a very uncomfortable me on FaceTime. It was like someone had handed me the script for the worst reality show ever. Except I was the punchline. Part 11: The Breaking Point. When absurdity meets reality. After Liam's revelations, I hit my breaking point. I mean, imagine seeing your wife hosting wild parties, flirting with strangers, and all the while expecting you to be her audience. That's not just betrayal, it's like being the star of a twisted sitcom you never signed up for. I confronted Vanessa again, this time with Liam's proof on my phone. She laughed, actually laughed, and said, "Relax, babe, you're just jealous. Maybe you should get a hobby instead of stalking me." I told her, "You know what, maybe I will." That night, I packed a bag, booked a cheap Airbnb, and checked out of the madness for a bit. I needed to clear my head, figure out if this marriage was worth the circus or if it was time to drop the mic and walk away. Part 12: Finding Myself and My Sanity. So, after I ditched the house and that ongoing nightmare, I spent a week holed up in my Airbnb. No Vanessa, no Queen V drama, just me, some bad takeout, and way too much Netflix. It was like waking up from a weird, twisted dream. I started remembering what life was like before the chaos. No mysterious colognes, no secret business dinners, and definitely no cuckold jokes that weren't funny. I even reconnected with some old friends who reminded me I wasn't alone. Turns out, plenty of people have wild stories way worse than mine, which was both comforting and depressing. Most importantly, I started thinking about what I actually wanted. Spoiler: it wasn't starring in Vanessa's personal soap opera. I realized I deserved better, way better. Part 13: The Return and the Ultimate Showdown. After my little solo retreat, I came back feeling a mix of calm and, okay, time to end this circus. I told Vanessa I wanted to talk, no yelling, no drama, just straight up honesty. She smirked like she was already preparing a comeback roast. I laid it all out: the lies, the parties, the cuckold nonsense, the ridiculous slideshow she was starring in without me signing the script. She rolled her eyes, but, for once, I caught a flicker of something, maybe respect, or maybe just boredom. She snapped, "You really think you can stop me? This is who I am now." I said, "Maybe, but this isn't who I want to be married to." We argued, we laughed, we insulted each other like pros. But at the end, I told her I needed real change, or I was walking away for good. For once, she didn't have a snarky reply. Instead, she said, "Fine, but you better bring more than boring to the table." And that my friends, was the ultimate showdown. No fireworks, just cold, honest chaos. Part 14: The Aftermath. New rules or no rules. So, after the ultimate showdown, things didn't magically fix themselves. Shocker, right? Vanessa tried to dial down the drama for like 2 whole days. Then, surprise, surprise, she was back to her diva and Xan mysterious late-night creative sessions. I tried setting some boundaries, like a normal person. No more secret parties, I said. She laughed and said, "This isn't a daycare, babe." At first, I wanted to blow a gasket, but then I realized maybe this chaos was part of her and maybe part of me, too. I mean, who was I kidding thinking a quiet suburban marriage was in the cards? So we made some new rules, more like loose guidelines to survive the madness, like, no FaceTiming dudes at midnight without a heads up. If she throws a party, I get a warning and a +1 invite, and I get to binge watch my shows without judgment. It's a weird truce, but hey, sometimes marriage is less about fairy tales and more about surviving the circus without losing your mind. Part 15: Final Thoughts. Lessons from the absurd. Alright, so after all the madness, cheating, cuckold jokes, and Vanessa's diva stunts, here's what I've learned. Marriage isn't some perfect rom-com where everyone acts like adults. Sometimes it's a chaotic, messy circus where you have to decide if you're the ringmaster or the clown. I never thought I'd be the guy sharing this kind of story, but hey, life's unpredictable, and so is love, apparently. If you're in a similar spot, here's my 2 cents. Trust your gut, don't ignore red flags, and remember you deserve respect, not just a front row seat to someone else's drama. Also, maybe keep some popcorn handy, because sometimes you just gotta watch the show and survive the absurdity. Good luck, you two. You're gonna need it.